The envelope was thin, worn at the edges, and held together by faith more than glue. Yet the moment she placed it on the marble counter, the air in the room shifted. Laughter rolled across the polished office like distant thunder, confident and careless. Because no one believed a woman dressed in a faded coat could possibly matter in a place built for power. The millionaire behind the desk smiled, as if indulging a harmless interruption, unaware that this single envelope was about to expose a truth he could not buy his way out of. Before the story continues, take a moment. If you believe in kindness quests and second chances, and in the quiet power of doing the right thing when no one is watching, please like this video, comment, share with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps these stories reach hearts that need them most. Her name was Rebecca Collins, a Christian woman in her early 40s living in the United States, and her life had narrowed into survival after years of unexpected loss. Rebecca once had a modest but happy life, a small home filled with laughter, Sunday dinners, and simple prayers whispered before sleep. Then came the accident that took her husband, followed by medical bills that swallowed savings whole. What remained was grief, a part-time job at a grocery store, and a stubborn belief that integrity still mattered even when life stripped everything else away. The envelope had come into her life by accident. Rebecca found it while cleaning an old church storage room as part of a volunteer effort. It had been wedged behind a fallen cabinet, yellowed with age, bearing a handwritten name she did not recognize. Inside were legal documents, stock certificates, and a handwritten note explaining that the contents were meant to be delivered to a man named Samuel Hartman. The note spoke of trust, of a promise made years ago, and of urgency should the sender ever fail to return. Rebecca could have ignored it. She could have handed it to anyone or even thrown away, assuming it was outdated nonsense. But something in the careful handwriting and the weight of responsibility pressed on her spirit. She began searching for the name, spending evenings at the public library, scrolling through archives and asking quiet questions. What she found surprised her. The envelope was connected to a vast fortune, one rumored to have been absorbed years earlier by a powerful investor named Victor Langston, a man celebrated publicly as a self-made millionaire. Rebecca's hand shook when she realized the address on the documents matched Langston Financial's headquarters downtown. The thought of walking into such a place terrified her. She was invisible there. She knew that. Still, her faith would not let her turn away. She prayed the night before, asking not for courage to confront power, but for strength to remain honest no matter how she was treated. The office lobby was everything Rebecca expected and more. Glass walls, polished stone floors, people moving with purpose, dressed in confidence. She waited patiently, clutching the envelope, her palms damp. When she was finally ushered inside, Victor Langston barely looked up. His world ran on numbers and dominance, not on strangers returning lost property. The laughter that followed her explanation felt like a dismissal of her entire existence. Rebecca did not argue. She did not raise her voice or demand attention. She simply placed the envelope down, explaining calmly that it did not belong to him and that she believed it should reach its rightful owner. That was when Langston laughed harder, assuming it was a misguided attempt to claim a reward or provoke guilt. He waved it off, confident no past had challenged his present success. What happened next no one could have scripted. Moments later, an elderly man entered the office escorted by security. His posture was fragile, his suit worn but neat, his eyes sharp with awareness. This was Samuel Hartman, the original owner named in the documents, long believed dead or bankrupt. Years earlier, Hartman had trusted Langston as a financial manager during a health crisis. Instead, his assets were quietly absorbed, his name erased from records, his life reduced to obscurity. The room changed instantly. The laughter stopped. Authority shifted without a word spoken. Hartman's presence brought clarity, like light cutting through fog. The envelope was opened, its contents verified, and the truth surfaced rapidly. The documents were originals, proving ownership and betrayal beyond dispute. Rebecca stood silently as the way of her choice unfolded. She had not come for justice or recognition. She had come because returning what was not hers felt right. The consequences, however, were immense. Investigations followed swiftly. Langston's empire, built partly on deception, began to crumble under scrutiny. Contracts froze. Accounts were audited. The image he curated shattered in days. Hartman, restored legally and financially, insisted on meeting Rebecca privately. He learned of her life, her losses, and her refusal to profit from something that tempted many. Moved deeply, he offered her compensation she never imagined. Rebecca accepted only what would stabilize her life, refusing excess, believing blessings were meant to serve, not corrupt. Her life changed quietly. Debts lifted. Her home became secure. She returned to school part-time, pursuing work in community outreach, determined to help others navigate injustice with dignity. She remained the same woman who volunteered at church, who prayed before sleep, who believed character mattered more than comfort. The story spread, not through headlines but through whispered admiration. People spoke of the woman who walked into power with nothing but truth and walked out unchanged by pride. Langston faded from relevance. Hartman used his restored wealth to fund transparency initiatives and legal aid for those wronged by corporate abuse. If this story has touched your heart, if it reminded you that honesty still carries power and that courage does not need a spotlight, please engage with this video by liking it, sharing it, and subscribing to the channel. Your support helps bring these stories of quiet strength to others who need them. Years later, Rebecca passed the same office building without bitterness. She felt gratitude instead. She had learned that doing the right thing does not always bring immediate reward, but it always brings peace. The envelope had changed everything, not because of what it contained, but because of what it revealed about integrity in a world that often laughs at it. Before the story ends, please comment below and share what moment moved you the most. Your words might encourage someone standing at a crossroads, unsure whether honesty is worth the cost. Because sometimes the greatest victories are not won through power or wealth, but through the simple courage to return what was never yours, trusting that truth will find its voice when the time is right.